Okay.
Awesome. Hello, everyone, and happy Monday. Afternoon for myself, morning for you, Blades, right?
Good morning. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And so today we've got a great new episode of Orbit. We're going to talk about a couple cool things that we have found, but we're also going to do a Summit Week 1 recap. Woo woo! So, if you're attending Summit, some of this might be a little redundant, but I think it's still fun to just like hear people talk about it, get different perspectives, and hey, jump in the chat and let us know, what you thought about Summit if you've been attending so far. So, speaking of, I totally forgot to bring up the chat, so I'm gonna do that super quick.
For
And
sure.
yeah,
I got
well,
my eyes on it here. But yeah, as it always works in here, um, if there's the whole purpose of this show for people who are who are new is we talk about new exciting things in the world of GraphQL. And if you stumbled across something that's new and exciting, whether it was at Summit or elsewhere, please let us know and we'll discuss.
absolutely. Okay, cool. So I've got the chat open again. Thank goodness. I'm just a little behind because y'all are seeing new layouts. I hope you like them. Here, Blades and I are for the world to see, just us. Yeah, and so this whole layout is new. We got new layouts, new social media, images. We're just like it's a new era of the Apollo stream. I feel like
Yeah,
we're getting
as
more and more.
ASAP Ferg said, I'm on a
Yeah.
new level.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, and so a couple things. Let me know if there's any issues with the audio. Should be good, but if it's not, please let me know. Yeah, and then we're gonna try a couple different scenes out today, and so hoping all of that goes well as well. But hey, you never know. I mean, when it's new, I didn't get a big chance to test all of this out. We'll do it live, as they say.
Mhm.
And yeah. So how was your weekend?
Weekend was good. Um, just took it pretty easy. I saw a pretty mind-bending movie last night called Mother with an exclamation mark on the end.
Okay.
Um, and that was pretty trippy. And what else did I do? Went skateboarding on Friday night, and then
Nice.
picked up some beers from a brewery down the street from the skate park.
Also cool.
Probably my favorite brewery in BC called Moody Ales. It's top notch stuff. I got
All
this
right.
like a bottle of this matcha saison. They do lots of kind of like
Ooh.
funky. It's a it's a craft brewery. They do all
Yeah.
sorts of funky little brews. So I got a matcha saison. I've got it sitting in my fridge. I'm waiting for the right time to have it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, matcha saison. So I like saisons. Normally like along the fruit type, but matcha sounds interesting.
Right?
Color me
I couldn't.
intrigued.
Yeah, I couldn't
Yeah.
resist. It was like
Yeah.
too interesting.
I bet. Yeah, that's awesome. So that's
And
cool.
how about
Yeah, like
yours, Kurt?
my weekend was good. So I've been as someone who's like immunocompromised, I've really been limiting my outside adventures. And Saturday morning we tried to go to a beach and we went. I should have known like the weather was primo for surfing, so it was just like packed. There was a lot of people there, and then we were like, "Oh, this is a real bummer." So we like left like 5 minutes after we got there, and we just went on a little bike ride with the kids and stuff. But Sunday we tried again at a different beach, and we got up so early, like before the sun was up. We were driving to the beach when the sun was coming up, and sure enough, we got there and it was empty. And so we spent like
Nice.
2.5 hours on the beach. Kids had a blast. I had a blast. Like I get my energy. Like, like Superman gets his energy from the sun. Like I
Mhm.
get my energy from the ocean. So just having my feet in the water, just being grounded like that, and just standing there and watching the waves roll in. Oh, it was amazing. I feel so
Ocean Man.
much better. Oh, I'm an ocean person for sure.
Cool.
And yeah, I feel so much better. And I keep telling Donna that when the kids grow up and they're out of the house, we're getting a beach house, and like that's where we're gonna retire at a beach house. She's all
Hell
for it
yeah.
too. Yeah, she loves the water as well. So She's
That's
all
good.
about it. Yeah, and then I watched a movie called Double World on Netflix. It was really cool. I really like fantasy movies, but oftentimes they're terrible. Like I don't know what it is about the fantasy genre, but like oftentimes the movies that are produced are just not very good. Um, at least to me, like I don't enjoy them a lot. And this one was awesome. So it's not Hollywood. It puts Hollywood to shame, but it's like a Chinese produced movie, so it was cool. It had subtitles, but the CGI was amazing. Good storyline, like the action was really
Double
cool.
World, right?
Yeah, yeah, the plot was really good. I really enjoyed it. I recommend it if people like kind of like the fantasy slash martial arts like genre. It was
Okay.
awesome, to say the least. I'm gonna watch it again
Cool.
probably this week. It was so good. Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah, yeah. And so that's it. Oh, and then also I worked on the new social media cards for the stream, but just tinkering while Donna and I watched Down to Earth with Zac Efron, and I am really enjoying that show. That's on Netflix as well.
Cool.
Yeah, it's cool. They just like travel around and like look at like more sustainable ways of like living and doing things.
Mm,
It's very awesome. Like they talk
that's
about the
cool.
water, yeah, water filtration system in Paris and how they do that. It's very cool. They don't use like chlorine or anything like that. They like
Mm.
went to Costa Rica to this like or Peru. They've been to so many places. But anyway. Yeah, yeah, it was pretty neat. I think my biggest takeaway from there was that they went to like well I didn't know like what's called like blue zone towns or cities or areas, and that's where they have like an unusual amount of centenarians, which is like folks who live to be over 100. And they went to this
Oh,
place in Italy to look at like what the diet is like and all this stuff because they have the most number of people who are centenarians as well as like close to it. Like people live on average into like their 80s and 90s within this town. And so they're just trying to figure out, like they take a look at what that's like. And it was interesting. It's all
mm.
just cool. I don't know. Yeah, cool stuff. But yeah,
So
that's
do
it.
these
That
do these do these centarians, are they related to centaurs at all? Like, did maybe they live so long because they're like half horse,
half
or
horse. Yeah.
is that
No, well, I mean, none of
did
the,
they consider that at least? I mean,
yeah. It
seems
could
like a
be a
pretty
possibility.
glaring difference.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, there was no half horse people. But they
okay.
do think that there
Well,
could be some sort of like gene mutation that has happened, like due to the diet and the area that has like opened up these things. And one thing that they do think had a lot to do with it is their low protein diets just helps with longevity. So apparently,
hmm,
after like halfway through your life, like once you hit like middle age and cellular um, like regrowth and stuff starts to slow down, too much protein can actually be bad, and your body tries to produce more cells than it has a need for, and like that actually can like cause
hmm,
mutated cells, which is like cancer and other things. So as someone who's like all about like a balanced macro diet, like I was very interesting because I put a large emphasis on protein. A lot of the Western world puts a large emphasis on protein.
right.
So now I'm investigating this because like I care more about longevity than being like someone big, like having this like huge protein diet or being like the peak of physical fitness. Like I care more about health over time. So it's something that's interesting to me.
Yeah, that's interesting. It's kind of
Yeah.
fascinating to see how like the human perspective on diet changes over time. Like when I was growing up, the things that like the food pyramid and like the things that were prioritized for us growing up are different than the things that we
Yeah.
teach our offspring now, and it's like constantly being updated, which is different than what my parents experienced growing up, and so on. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't
And
know. It's kind of interesting. Also, Pedram underscore ha. Thank you so much for the follow. Nice to have you here.
yeah, and Mark's got a question in chat, a MetaStream question. So do we both use Skype with NDI to get separate camera feed? So technically, because I'm running OBS, I'm just feeding my camera directly in. But yeah, Trevor's camera is coming through NDI and through Skype. And when I did like the Twitch stream, when I had everyone, yeah, that was also everyone was on Skype and coming through NDI. That is definitely the best way that I have found to do it. Most other platforms don't work well. You have to do like weird things with like sharing just part of the display and cropping it, like, or trying to share the app window, but it's not good. NDI is the way. Horacio in the chat. What's up, buddy? How's it going? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I hope that answers that. But yeah, I definitely recommend Skype if you're going to have guests on stream. 100%. Yeah, I think we just got another follow. Did I just see another follow pop in there?
Yes, Creative Token just followed.
Yeah.
Thank you, Creative.
Thank you. For some reason, I feel like we're not getting the sounds. Let me know if you're getting the follow sounds on stream. I did like control the audio within OBS, and I think I might have messed it up. I'll have to figure that out. But I'm loving how the new layout looks. Look at how crisp the chat looks on that new layout. Ooh.
Never been better.
Bravissimo. Yeah. Yeah, so I guess since we're getting a good ways into the stream, maybe we should talk about GraphQL. What do you think?
I'd be down to talk about some GraphQL. I guess like it's probably one of the reasons we're here, at least. So
yeah.
Why don't we get right into it?
Yeah, I love it. Let's do it. Okay. So let's see. The first thing that we've got today.
Why don't we start with the Newline
Summit? One. Oh, the Newline? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's start with Newline. All right. So let me go grab that link. Copy the link address. And now, all right. So I'm gonna switch scenes. So hey, everyone, when I switch scenes, you're not gonna be able to see us, but you should be able to hear us. If you cannot hear us, let us know.
Sound the alarm.
We should be good to go. Sound the alarm and switching over. Let's do it. Hey, so our audio should still be here, and hopefully this is in fact the case.
Yes, I can confirm. I unmuted the stream just to check it out. So I think we're in good shape here.
Heck yeah. So I thought this would be a better idea instead of having Trevor and myself crammed into a corner and the desktop always there. Now you can kind of see what's going on. We can flip back and forth. Creative Token, thank you so much for answering in the chat. We appreciate you. Boom. Yes. Random Rain, thank you as well. Seriously, could not do this without y'all. I mean, well, like literally, because what would be the point of streaming without y'all? All right, so let's do this. Let me blow this up. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. Cool. So what we've got here is Newline has just released a new course. We're going to go click through it, but it's a 2-hour course. It's free, y'all. Free. 2-hour course on building your first GraphQL server with Node, TypeScript, and Apollo. That's what I'm talking about. I love that it's free. It's very cool. So let's do a click in here and see where we end up and what we get.
Hey, how about the timing on this news item, by the way?
Seconds before we started.
Yeah, pretty amazing. They just posted this 23 minutes ago. So so you're getting the news as fresh as it could possibly come.
Hot off the press, as they say.
Yes, and I just threw a link in the chat there if anybody wants to jump in and follow along. But yeah, Kurt, why don't you take it away?
Let's do it. Yeah, so the Newline guide to building your first GraphQL server. It seems they've got a nice little 3-minute demo here. I don't think I have desktop audio dropped into this scene. Otherwise, I would go ahead and play it. But it's fine. I don't feel like pausing the music either. But let's take a look at what we'll learn. So in here, we've got how to create a Node server using Express. How to integrate TypeScript to a Node server. So this is good. Like I've been trying to up my TypeScript game. And I'm always like looking at different resources, especially around GraphQL and stuff like that. So it's going to talk about what problems GraphQL can solve. Love that. Importance of a strongly typed code. Again, this is why I'm trying to get more into TypeScript. I understand that there's that initial effort and kind of like learning curve, and it slows everything to a grinding halt while you're like Googling how to type everything in TypeScript. But I feel like once you get over that, the developer experience improvements that I've seen so many people have, it's just too enticing for me to turn away from, you know? So it's something that I'm really trying to work on. I should make it like a goal for 2020, like to be relatively proficient with TypeScript by 2021. I think I might do that.
Be becoming a more statically typed person.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Types for life. That was so fast, by the way, Trevor. You got that link in chat in like a millisecond.
Yeah, man, I'm on top of it.
Always on top of it. So,
but yeah, I think that's a good goal. I guess I'm still kind of I think that in general I agree. Like I think that I could probably benefit from adopting TypeScript more, but I'm still kind of the mindset that it's like, you know, you got to use the tool for the job.
For sure.
If it does become cumbersome, you know, just because it's TypeScript doesn't mean it's automatically right.
Yeah.
But I could also be coming from like an ignorant perspective, because I haven't dove in to TypeScript to the same extent that some other people might have. So who knows? But
yeah.
But yeah, I like that goal, Kurt.
Yeah, I for me it's like I just feel like yeah, I've just seen like other people like streaming or like, you know, code snippets or like in videos, and it's just like the IntelliSense and like a lot of the things that you get by adding types to your system, like, you know, catching errors, you know, before they really happen because, you know, you're like dealing with the wrong type or something like that. And like honestly, for me as someone who's like I guess what you call like a full stack developer, but like I work at the API layer normally and as well as the front end. Like a lot of things that I do, I'm like constantly working with data on both sides of the network. And so like having the types just makes it easier for me to not have to like remember data structures in my head. Like I'm all about like getting everything out of my head that I can offload, not maintaining state and all that stuff, and being able to focus my brain on like the task at hand. And I don't know, it's like when you, it's like adding the VS code. Oh, we got another follow, and maybe I'm just not hearing it. I see the like I see the notification sound thing going off, but maybe I'm not hearing it. So y'all let me know if when someone follows, there should be like a fun little sound that accompanies it. Let me know if you're hearing that. But yeah, sorry, derailment. To get back to it. Oh, I heard it. Awesome. It's working. It's working.
Nice.
Yes, right away. So getting back to that, it's for me, it's just about being off. Yeah, like a swoosh sound. That's the one. Yeah. It's just about being able to like offload my brain, right? Like,
yeah,
things that I can Google, I try not to remember because I can just Google them easily, and I don't know, stuff like that. Like I don't remember like any of the array methods, like which are the right ones between like slice or splice, or like is it includes on array and contains on string. I don't know, because I just go to Google and I type MDM contains, and if it's array, then I know it's the other one that is for string. And it's just like, you know, it's just like it takes 2 seconds to do that, and then something else can be in my brain. All right, derailment over. Sure. Let's go back.
It's like having a sidekick almost.
It's like having a sidekick, exactly.
TypeScript.
Yeah, it's like having.
IntelliSense is like coding with like a helpful little sidekick by you the whole time.
Yeah, or like in my case, so for front end development, it's almost like pair programming with the back end engineer. Like they're like, oh yeah, well you're gonna get back these data points, and like this is the one you want, and it's of this type, and like it's just all for me in the IntelliSense. Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah. But getting back to the this workshop, so we're gonna just take a quick ganders at the course content. So it seems that it's 4 modules. So it looks like you can fold these up. That's pretty cool. 25 lessons total, 2.5 hours. So the introduction is cool. They just going over like your environment setup and welcome. That makes sense. Then we've got getting started with the Node server. That also this is cool. So not only is it just telling you how to do this, but like it's not assuming knowledge. It's like going over what is Node, running JavaScript with Node, and I like that. That's pretty cool. So
how long are each of the segments
and
typically?
this is the other thing, they're short, which is nice. Like we've got 1 minute, 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 8 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 16, but then back to 3, 13,
That's the
7.
vibe, dude.
That is the vibe.
Like the egghead way. I
It
don't know if
is.
somebody did it before egghead, so if they did, then I apologize. Egghead gets all the credit for this one in my book, though. They
Yeah.
actually popularized this type of tutorial
Short.
format.
Yeah, short videos, more videos, and then you break them up into smaller things. And I like that. Yeah, and so here we go. So then this next session, comparing REST and GraphQL, not as much needed. There's only like 3 or 4 videos. Now we've got to the Apollo server part in the third module. And this is really neat. I like this a lot. This is very cool. Yeah, and so like it goes like using GraphQL, and then they have a conclusion. This is awesome. And then here's the instructors. So we've got Hassan here and Jing Chen.
Amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so definitely check this out. If you are, yeah, Horatio, sorry, I'm just seeing your message. Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. It feels like pair programming with like a back-end dev because the info is just right there for you. It's like you're asking IntelliSense, but but IntelliSense is your developer. Can you point to some tutorials course for learning JavaScript, please? Yes. So my favorite thing for that is called justjavascript.com. And I've just sent a link. This is a partner learning guide. It's really like a course. It's like interesting. You sign up for the email, like you subscribe, and you get like all the different things. But Maggie Appleton, who is an amazing like illustrator, she like does these really great like visual diagrams that really like help make the concepts more concrete. And Dan Abramoff himself is a wonderful teacher, so that's the one I always recommend. I'm sure that there are others, but that's generally the one I go to. Yeah, of course, anytime. Okay, so let's flip back over here to us, and let's start looking at what's our next item.
Well, I think our next item kind of dovetails into the broader conversation that we want to have about. Oh, by the way, the whole course that we were just talking about is being offered for free right now. So you can get in there and get started with Apollo Server and Node and TypeScript.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
free,
point.
which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, and it looks like it's $99 otherwise. So like now's the time. Like that's $100 you're saving. That's a lot.
The time is now.
It's a lot of.
I remember
things.
the NPCs in the video game Fable 2. If you bumped into them in the town, they would say, "The time is now."
Really? That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know why that voiceover line stuck with me, but anyway, yeah. Well, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was some of our takeaways from week 1 of GraphQL Summit, and that kind of dovetails into one of the items that I put on the list this week, which is a library called GraphQL Shield, and this spawned out of this link got into our stream today because at GraphQL Summit last week on Friday, I attended a topic room, and for those who didn't get to attend GraphQL Summit last week, what that is at for about an hour and a half each of the days, we set up these Discord rooms where people can gather and talk about topics that they have an interest in or that they're curious about. And there's usually they're usually, if not always, moderated by somebody with extensive knowledge on the subject. For example, week 1, I attended a topic room about GraphQL on the edge, or like serverless GraphQL, that was moderated by an engineer from CloudFront.
Yeah.
And so these are the kind of they it's like a fertile ground for really interesting conversations.
And
So
there were a lot of them, really good
there were.
conversations. Yeah.
And if you, yeah, you should see if you guys weren't able to make it to GraphQL Summit last week, I highly suggest you try to be there this week, Thursday, Friday. We'll talk more about that at the end of the show. But the point is, there's the link in the chat to register for it if you want to. But for now, I want to talk about GraphQL Shield. What's up, Dom?
What's up, buddy?
Speaking of GraphQL Summit, that was this man who just entered the chat is one of the big reasons why it went so well last week.
Yeah.
So one of the big takeaways from this securing GraphQL talk was, I came in with the question of like how to, effectively handle an API that's partly authenticated, partly unauthenticated. Maybe some fields have more intricate authentication rules around them, stuff like that. And the moderator suggested I check out GraphQL Shield. So I did, and I tried implementing it over the weekend, and it was really cool. So if you want to flip back to the GitHub, we can talk a little bit about how it works. So the basic premise of GraphQL Shield is you define these kind of like what are called rules based on an incoming request to a field. You can basically write a resolver function that returns true or false depending on whether or not the requesting user should have access to that field. And you do that and basically create a mapping of all the fields that you want to authenticate to their respective authentication rule. So there's a little code block a little bit down on the page there, Kurt.
Let me scroll on down.
Shows this idea. So what you'll see first are your type defs, and then your resolvers, and then below the resolvers you have some mock users. And then if you scroll some more, you'll see a block of rules.
So here we go. So we have our resolvers, like you're saying. We got some mocked users. And then here we go, rules. Got it.
Yeah. And so yeah, we can set up these rules. Is authenticated, is admin, is editor. And these rules are going to be different depending on your API and the data structures and rules that you need to enforce on your API.
Yeah.
And then below that, you have this permissions map, where you basically can identify fields that you want to protect and what type of protection they should require. And then finally, you just add that permissions map as middleware to your GraphQL API. And this works whether you're using Apollo server or Yoga GraphQL or GraphQL JS or whatever node GraphQL solution you choose. And then from there it just works. TM.
This is amazing. Yeah, so now I'm starting to see like the difference here between my implementation, which is very like, I like this approach because it seems a bit easier. Like I need to look into how they're doing this with these middlewares, like for the given different resolvers. It's very interesting. So in the one that I wrote, it's like you have to be like I like this because the code for your middleware is very separated from your actual resolvers. Whereas mine is a lot more imperative, and the middleware is like wrapping directly around the resolver. And I like this pattern better, if I'm being honest. So good job, GraphQL Shield.
It's very honest of you. Yeah, I think that they're both. It's kind of one of those things where the solution that feels best depends on the scale of your API. If I have an API with 4 fields,
that's a good call.
And I want to make 2 of them authenticated, I might go for your solution where I'm actually wrapping the resolvers themselves. But if once it gets large, if I have a API with 40 fields, it might make more sense if I want to protect 10. The big advantage that you get here is that you have one place where you can look to see what the authentication rules of your API are. So you can look at this permissions object and get a sense for how your API protects different fields. And Kurt just dropped a link in the chat there to his GraphQL Auth solution, which is what we've been referring to for the last little while. And
Yeah.
maybe you can give a little bit of background on that if you don't mind, Kurt.
Yeah, sure. So I think this existed from before GraphQL Shield was around. I made this when I was working at Major League Soccer many years ago. And so, yeah, essentially the main difference here is that you have this with auth middleware that you wrap your resolvers with. Yeah, so it's like also one other thing here too is like it's like scope based, which tends to align well with like JWT type systems, which is what a lot of people use for authentication. Yeah, and so essentially all you have to do is wrap this with auth. It can be either just the resolver itself, which means you're not concerned about scopes, you just care if the user is logged in. And otherwise you can add scopes. And so the way that it works is this, all that matters is that on your context you have an auth property with is authenticated, yet true or false. That's going to handle your no scope cases. And then you can attach an array of scopes as well. So it's just like allows you to get pretty fine-grained control. You can do scopes with like wildcards. So you could do like user : star, and then that will allow any user type scope. So it's just really scope focused. But again, we're in our resolvers here. So I have to wrap my resolvers with this function in order for it to work. And I think that is the biggest difference, and can also be cumbersome, like you said, at a larger scale API. That's extremely hard to track down and mess with. So like what happens if things need similar scopes? You got to go find them and do it. So I do think that, yeah, I think GraphQL Shield is going to scale better because it's going to put all of your permissions here into this nice little tight like object or whatever response type it is that you can pass into middlewares. And the thing that's getting me is these nots and ands, and I feel like they must be importing that from GraphQL Shield, right? Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, exactly. You get a few different operators like not and or.
Yeah.
They also export like unallow and deny rules.
Cool.
Where if you scroll down a little more, they talk about wildcard rules. If you could just Command F for wildcard, and you'll see kind of how this would work.
They support it too. Cool.
Yeah. So in this example, they're denying access to all of the query fields except for these two. So a real practical example would be, like in my case, there's only like 3 mutations that I want public access to. So what I do is I just say, I like login, forgot password, reset password.
Yeah.
So I say like wildcard, set my wildcard to is authenticated.
Yeah.
And then just define which are the routes or which are the fields that I want to allow anonymous access to.
Which is really cool because this is basically, instead of having a block list, it's a safe list. It's like block everything and only allow these few fields to be accessible publicly. I like that.
Got it.
Yeah. I really like it. I'm gonna just go ahead and archive mine and start pointing people at GraphQL Shield.
Oh no.
I mean, why not though? Look. So there's no hard feelings for me with open source. Like I like like the code, and it's a pretty cool authentication library, but like this is a better one, and so I have no problem. Plus, then that means I also don't have to maintain GraphQL Auth anymore, and I'm all about that.
Oh man.
The one thing I
think once again, dude, it's I always fall back to this. You'll hear me say this. You've already heard me say it once, and probably won't be the last time. But it's all about using the right tool for the job.
Seriously,
I think that like just because like GraphQL Shield makes you feel a certain kind of way, like even if that kind of way is like, wow, this is really awesome, it doesn't invalidate GraphQL Auth at all. I think it's like, yeah, you got to choose the right tool for the job, and it's not always going to be GraphQL Shield.
That's it. I will say this though, you got no choice. Thanks, Dom. I will say this, one thing that I do like about GraphQL Auth 2, which is fun, if I unpack this here, and we go into source, it's just one file, index.ts. The entire auth library is, wait for it, 59 lines.
Beautiful. That is, as our friend Khalil Stemler would say, clean code.
Yes. Where's Khalil? Yes, he would say that. Yeah, it is some clean code. And it's TypeScript. Yo. Yeah. Dependabot coming in hot with vulnerabilities. We're just going to act like we don't see that, and we're going to get out of there. Awesome. Very cool.
Anyway, that's like one of my big takeaways that I was able to try out for myself, and I really liked it, so I thought I'd share with you guys today. But
is where you shared it open source?
Pardon me? Oh, is where I implemented it? No, unfortunately, that is closed source. I'm working on an update to a word game, No Word, and so I used it in a feature branch of a private repo, unfortunately.
A word game called No Word. Color me intrigued. What does No Word mean?
No Word is a game where you're given the first letter and the definition of a word, and you have to guess what the word is over and over and over again until the time runs out.
That's cool.
The basic premise.
I like it. That's fun.
So yeah, I'm just in the middle of a pretty substantial update for that site right now, and part of that is a completely retooled GraphQL API, and GraphQL Shield has been at least a minor part of that.
That's awesome, man. That's heckin' awesome.
Yeah, well, I'll have more to share about that maybe in a future episode. I'll maybe take you guys on a tour of the changes to No Word as it pertains to GraphQL and whatever else is mildly interesting.
For sure. Take me on a trip. That's awesome. Cool, yo. And I think, is that it for our links? And like, is it time to just maybe chat about Summit? Did we have any other links?
That's it for links from you and I. But I'll remind everybody in chat, if there's anything that you find interesting, or that you found interesting about GraphQL recently that you want to put us onto, then please share a link in the chat and we'll get around to it. But otherwise, or in the meantime, we can talk a little bit about Summit.
Yeah. So also, I do want to mention, I dropped in the chat a link to an article from that GraphQL Shield thing, and it looks like a Medium article that has like some recipes and some other stuff, so that might be fun to check out. Nice. Super hype that GraphQL request is being maintained again. What is GraphQL request? Oh, Prisma Labs GraphQL request. Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is a client for GraphQL? Oh, and it's just super tiny request and
like
GraphQL
style. Yeah.
That is cool. Okay. I'm digging it.
Very nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like Axios for GraphQL. Love
Okay,
it.
this is awesome. Yeah, super rad. So this basically what like used to be like Urkel. So I imagine there's like no caching or anything built in. It's just like, yeah, you can set your headers and set things like credentials and cores and all that fun jazz, but then it's like basically that's it. It takes care of the actual requests. Got it. Nice. What
You
about
can also
Urkel?
you can create a client that if you're making multiple requests to the same
Yeah, I'm looking
API,
at that. Yeah, I'm
that's
looking at that.
simple.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, you combine it with React Query. Okay, well,
Hmm.
first let me drop this link in the chat real quick. Oh, you know what? I didn't share my screen. Oops. Let me jump over. So here's an example of uh, um, GraphQL request. So it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And then let me drop that link. Boom. And then you'd pair that with React Query. Let's go look at that. Another one I'm not very familiar with. Oh, hooks. Hooks. So this is cool. Let me check this out. Grab this link, drop this in the chat. Hooks for fetching, caching, and updating asynchronous data in React. So it doesn't matter like what the underlying transport is, I would assume. Oh, hey Tanner. I guess that, yeah, this works with that. So where's like the, oh, is there like a docs? Oh, here we go. For the docs, guides, and more. Whoa, I like the website. Super slick. Yeah, whoa! Join the Tan Stack newsletter. That came shot up out of there. Caught me off guard. All right.
Jump scare.
Yeah. React Query Essentials. Oh, of course. That's smart. So I like that's a nice way to kind of monetize open source. That I like. It just sucks because it puts even more work on the maintainers themselves. But I think like doing these like premium courses to show people like how to be successful with the open source library, I dig it. I dig that.
Hmm.
You know? Oh, here we go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so React Query, and in this example, they're using Axios, and then, but you could just replace that with anything.
Hmm.
Oh, I almost accidentally
Very
reloaded the
versatile.
page.
I can see why this is catching on.
Yeah, for sure. This is, I'm gonna have to check this out. Yeah, I almost said color me intrigued for like the 4th time in this stream. You have to do a shot every time I say color me intrigued. Cool, yo. I love it. Awesome. Learn something new every day. Yeah, so if anyone else in the chat has anything else you want us to take a look at, please drop a link. In the meantime, let's dig into Summit because I'm super hyped for Summit.
Me too. This last the last week of Summit was amazing. The talks were just fascinating. The topic rooms were bumping. And yeah, if you weren't able to make it, like I said before, I highly suggest you try to make it this week. But yeah, Kurt, what is if you could pick like three highlights of the last 2 days of Summit, what jumps to mind for you?
Yeah. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is uh, Discord, right? Like that's just hands down, I think, a huge part of what is making Summit so successful. Dom and myself and everyone, we've put a lot of work into kind of creating a really cool community, and I feel like the approaches are different than what's been done before for online events. And I just love seeing the activity. I love seeing everyone interacting, which leads me into number 2, which is the topic rooms. I see those as a big success for Summit. The conversations that I've been able to jump into and be a part of from like the future of GraphQL and Jamstack, like you were talking about GraphQL at the edge, right? Like talking about different clients, and there's people talking about like GraphQL in different languages, right? Because like a lot of times I'll put on the JavaScript filter, so it's really cool to see what people are doing with GraphQL in Java, Kotlin, and iOS, like all these different places, right? Yeah, so it's just like a lot of learning and just seeing the community just come together and being so awesome. And then lastly, I've been really enjoying the panels. The panels have been, not that the talks aren't good, because those are amazing as well, but I just love hearing about other people's experiences. It's also why I like streaming so much, because it's a very raw experience. You know, like when people are building things, it's like you're seeing it firsthand. So the Learning GraphQL panel, I think, was my favorite one so far. And yeah, I think those would be my top three, I guess, fave parts about Summit so far.
Cool. Yeah, you took my one of mine was going to be the Learning GraphQL panel as well.
Yeah.
Both panels were amazing. The other panel was fascinating, hosted by our own Jeff Hampton, talking about Federation.
Fascinating.
And for somebody who's never actually implemented Federation myself, or never been close to implementing Federation, it was really eye-opening and cool to hear like the perspectives of different people within the GraphQL community talk about their own experiences with it. I thought that was really cool. One kind of highlight moment was, well, actually, I'll mention first. I thought that the talks were amazing. The keynote presentation, it was like a triple header keynote, talking about Apollo Studio, Apollo Client, and Federation. All three talks just knocked it out of the park. You can go back and watch that on the VOD from day one if you want. It's the very first series of talks, and it was really cool. But before that talk kicked off, there was a moment that I really, really enjoyed. This is my number 3, is that first kind of like welcome to GraphQL Summit worldwide moment, and Peggy encouraged people to drop a note in the Discord about where they're from, like see what countries, what kind of like what's the representation here at GraphQL Summit. It was so cool to see people from all corners of the globe really coming together for this really unique event, and that was just a real kind of like just an eye-opening moment. It's like, wow, man, you know, GraphQL is really a global phenomenon, and we're seeing people getting to hang out with people that you probably wouldn't get to hang out with in an in-person conference, just because travel is pretty expensive. It is expensive. It's a huge burden.
Hard.
So like, so that was really cool, and I'm gonna make an honorable mention here to the music selection. I remember every time, like in between the talks, or like at the end or the beginning of the day, I was just like sitting there with the stream open, vibing out. It was so good, man.
And you weren't the only one. It was just the schedule up, and there was like on the first day there was like 300 people just hanging out, listening to the music. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was really fun. So those are the things that come to mind for me. I mean, the content was amazing, but really like that community interaction, getting to speak with people in topic rooms, like meeting different members of the GraphQL community, and everybody really, like, you know, I also got to say, huge shout out to our GraphQL community.
Huge shout
some
out.
of the nicest people, like most courteous, respectful, interesting people that I can think of, and really everybody was on their best behavior, and just genuine good human beings. So
Absolutely,
that felt good.
Yeah, and oof, you just got me. I'm all like hyped. I got goosebumps. I'm ready for week 2. Yeah, I can't wait for Thursday now. Actually, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, speaking of week 2, why don't we just pull up the week 2 schedule?
Let's
give
do
people a quick taste of what they can expect from week 2 of GraphQL Summit, and then maybe we can wrap up.
Yeah, I love that. And so, real quick, there's something else that I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, you can watch day 1 and day 2 right here on Twitch. They're in the VODs for the channel, so it's not like you missed it, and they will be on YouTube as well. But yeah, let's take a look. So August 6th, this Thursday, coming up. We've got this talk. Yeah. So we've got let's see, we've got the future of custom scaler. So I'm really looking forward to this. This is gonna be a good one. So Andre, are you still here? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, this is gonna be really good. And then let's see, and then we've got Project Constellation. So if you're familiar with Federation, I think this talk is really going to reach out to y'all. It's talking about kind of like what the future of Federation looks like, and kind of on like a much larger scale. So I'm very excited for that. Very excited. And then this one is always going to be good. So we've got GraphQL in production which actually, Marc Andre, you might still be here. I don't know if you're hanging out in the chat as well. Yeah, let me know. But yeah, this is going to be an amazing panel as well. Shruti Kapoor, who's actually coming on the stream this week, she'll be on an episode of Mission Briefing on Wednesday. I want to say that's either at 3 or 4 o'clock Eastern Standard. And we're going to build a developer jokes GraphQL API. So I'm super excited about that one. That's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and then again, we're going to have the topic rooms. So let's go see what topic rooms we're going to be having. So we're going to be talking about Rust and GraphQL. Awesome. React state management with GraphQL. We got Java and Kotlin making an appearance in week 2. Testing GraphQL. Schema design. Live streaming on Twitch. Ayo, with the one and only
with
Trevor.
Your boy.
Yeah, love it. GraphQL microservices, which is awesome. We got talking about, nice. GraphQL type systems. So it's going to be Carlos. That's awesome. I'm definitely going to have to jump in there and talk about that with him as well. We got GraphQL for Android clients, serverless GraphQL, GraphQL API management, real-time GraphQL, caching in GraphQL. So, oh man, this is like small. Let me blow it up. Sorry, y'all. Go through that one more time, scroll through these so that y'all can see at home. But yeah, lots of topic rooms. And so what a topic room is Discord allows like audio and video. So everyone just kind of goes in there and there's like a moderator like Trevor was mentioning earlier. And that essentially like, gets a conversation going, these deep kind of conversations, almost like you would have like the hallway conversations or topic room tables at an in-person conference is what they remind me of. Yeah, and so then jumping back to the schedule, let's take a look at Friday. So Friday starts with Friday's topic rooms. We'll go look at that in a minute. But then we've got a panel that I am super stoked about. We got the Jamstack panel. I think this is probably going to be my second favorite panel. Just cause. Yeah, we got Chris Biscardi coming on to moderate. We've got Aisha Blake from Gatsby. Jason Langsdorff is going to be there. Sierra Ford, Kyle Boss. I mean, this is a very stacked panel.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Yeah.
This is OP.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. And then this defer in streams directive, also looking forward to this as well. This is something I haven't really been able to dive too deep into. Just real quick, defer is like basically holding off, like returning results, not waiting for the results of like long process things. Oh, Dom Dance is part of Summit. Yeah, we're working that in. We're going to do that during the break. So be ready, Dom. That's amazing. And then we've got... Yeah. Dom dances for an hour and a half. You better hydrate. You better hydrate. Playlist picked by the topic room attendees. It doesn't matter what it is. You got to dance to it. You ready for sweat? I don't know if I am. I am. We've got 200 OK error handling in GraphQL. Error handling is huge, right? Like everyone needs to handle errors. And how to auth. So speaking of how to auth and GraphQL Shield, so Mandy Wise wrote a book about advanced GraphQL. with React and Apollo, and in there I believe she uses GraphQL Shield to do some auth stuff. So that's
awesome.
Yeah. For the follow, yeah, that is in the source. It is in there. Everything is in there. The chat.
Speaking of which,
animations are in there too. Go ahead. Sorry, sir.
I just wanted to shout out a few of the follows we've got recently just over the stream. Mustafa, Hayate, Ashutosh.
Keep them coming, y'all.
Tixie, and
follow.
Ashish Prasad. Also, Frag Zero just followed. Thank you all.
That is amazing. Yo, thank you all. We love having you. We love you being here. That's amazing. So cool. Yeah, and then real quick, because we got to wrap up here in like a minute, so I'm just going to go through topic rooms real quick. They're going to be pretty similar.
I think they're going to be the same, yeah.
There's just a couple different. So we do have like this e-commerce and GraphQL one, which I'm particularly interested in. A lot of the rests are going to be the same as they are for Thursday. I believe that might be the only one that's different. Yeah. Oh, in real-time GraphQL. This one's going to be a bit different too. So those are that's it. I mean, it's a packed lineup. Yo, Summit has been the bomb. So come hang out with us. We would love for you to join us for Summit. And yeah, I think with that, we're gonna wrap up, right? We gotta get going. We gotta shut down the party, unfortunately, folks. Should we raid somebody, or you want to?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna see who's online.
Nice.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
while he's doing that, real quick, I'm just going to go through some streams we've got coming up over the next couple weeks. Like I said, we got Shruti Kapoor coming on. She's going to be coming on to build an API. And then next week, I can't even remember. But here, I'm just going to drop a link to our calendar instead. Let me do that. Go.apollo.dev/events calendar. And then this will have them all. If I could spell. Calendar.
Sweet.
Boom. Where do we get Apollo Summit swag? So, I don't think there is swag for this conference, and I know at Summit last year what we did was instead of swag, donations were done to like Black Girls Code and a couple other places as well, right? Am I correct? Mm-hmm. I believe that's what happened. But if you really want some swag, maybe we can get you some Apollo swag. Yeah, right. That is even better, right? And then yeah, I don't know. Hit me up on Twitter, and then like maybe we can figure something out, getting you some swag. You want Apollo swag? Oh well, it's a given for you. I got you, bro. I got you.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
I've got a raid queued up here. We're gonna drop by the Coding Garden, pay CJ a visit. One of my favorite web development streams out there.
Nice.
Apart from ours, of course. And yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And
as always,
we'll catch you next Monday.
Yeah, love it. Love to see y'all. Thank you for joining us.
Don't forget to register for Summit. Summit.graphql.com/register.
Register. Awesome. And here we go, y'all. We are leaving, so we can do it now, right? Yeah. Cool.
Yes, sir.
All right. Bye, everyone.
All right. So,
how did I think I broke it. Sorry. Did we not flip over? Okay, cool. I'll let you do it, and I'll kill this. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.